Welcome back to Matters Real Estate with Festus Mutia, and this is part 3 of tips of buying a house in Kenya. On point number 7, I want to insist, check out the developer. Check out the person selling you the house, the seller. If it is a developer, check out if they have done any existing developments, and always ensure that they have the approvals that are required, so that you don't buy a house today and then after a few days you are told it's on a road reserve. And also ensure that all the facilities as on the paper, they are also going to be on the ground. After you've done the double checking, ensure after double checking that the developer has all the required approvals. Check the sewer details, who is handling it, check where the water is coming from, the electricity connection and all that. And then after that, understand the financial model the developer is using. If he is building with your money, or if he's getting financed, or if they have their own money. Because if he's building the whole estate with your money, you need to understand that the project might stall along the way, especially if the payments have delayed and all that. And then is he someone with the means? Is he getting a bank to finance the project, or where is he getting his money from? If you feel like, for example, some windows are too small, get an architect who can tell you if that ventilation will work and all that. And always make sure you ask where you don't understand. And then on tip number 4, get a valuer. Remember, this is a property you are buying. It's not like going to the supermarket and getting something that will just be referred to by a friend. So when you are buying a house, always get a valuer. And if you are taking a mortgage, for example, obviously the bank's valuer will also double check that property. If you are not sure about that pricing, always get a valuer to come and double value it for you. If it is land, you should get documents supporting where the beacons are held. If you are buying off plan, take caution, because the documents are very different as opposed to when you are buying already an existing houses. Understand the documentation for each option of home ownership. And then of course the payment models are always different for each option of home ownership. It is important to understand the payment model and the documentation for any option of home ownership that you choose. And then on tip number 9, study the return on investment. For example, if you are buying a house, understand that at some point in the future you may have to sell it. So always put the return on investment into factor, because if you specifically you are buying that property for investment, this is a major factor for you. And then obviously return on investment is the amount of time it will take for you to get back the amount that you invested in buying. If you are buying for rent, a positive return on investment can be calculated on how long it will take to get your money back. And averagely it's 10 to 15 years, 10 to 13 years is now the average payback period in the market. If you are buying to resell, you need to ensure that the near future price will be higher than the purchase price to make the return positive. And then if you are buying to live in, you need to understand that whichever property you are buying now might not be what you need in the future. Probably the family might grow and you need to look for a bigger house. So always have return on investment aspect as one of the important factors when you are buying a house. And also with this in mind, you need to ensure that when you resell your house, you can fetch a higher price. And as I always say, it goes back to the location. Make sure it's on ideal location where you can always resell it faster and get a higher price in the market. And then on the last point, which I always insist every time, is that get a great professional agent. And you don't have to waste your time moving from street to street looking for a house, or even scrolling Google forever. Because sometimes you find you go around looking and then you end up not getting the right house for you. So always involve the right agent. And obviously when you're getting an agent, always remember to cross-check. Check if the agent has an office, understand the agent. Remember, buying a house is not like going to buy goods on the shelves where you just check the price and buy and you go home. It's a process that requires due diligence, taking time, and understanding the documentation and the finance model. Thank you so much for watching my YouTube channel. Again, subscribe, come back for great content each and every time. It's always my pleasure to have you on my channel. Thank you so much. If you need to get in touch with me, check out on my contact and social media links.